Good day, Junior Techies. I'm Mrs. Brumacombe. We are going to look at Bank Reconciliation Activity 5. In this activity, you will notice that we are going to complete the Cash Receipts Journal and the Cash Payment Journal in a different way. We are also going to introduce internal control, and I'm also going to discuss GAAP principles. GAAP, generally accepted accounting practices. Make sure that you always know your GAAP principles and know how to apply it. If I start with the first question, state whether the following statements are true or false. Write only true or false next to the question number. The first question, bank charges is a form of EFT. This is true. A debit balance on the bank statement is a positive balance. This is false. On a bank statement, credit means positive, debit means negative. The third question, interest credited on the bank statement is recorded in the Cash Receipts Journal. This is also true. This is true. Why? Because interest credited on the bank statement is positive. That means the business will receive money. If the business receives money, it's recorded in the Cash Receipts Journal. Now you will notice in tests and exams, there's always these type of questions where we ask theory. So make sure that you always study your theory. 5.2. The following information relates to Marianne Stores for September 2021. Question number 1. Show the entries that must be recorded in the cash journals by completing the table provided in the answer book. Question 2. Prepare the bank account on September 2021. The third question, prepare the bank reconciliation. And then 5.3, an investigation revealed that the deposit of 5,000 was missing. Since this could not be recovered, it was decided it should be written off. State the GAAP principle that applies to this decision and provide 2 internal control measures that Marianne can use to prevent such a loss in the future. So this is where the GAAP and internal control is introduced into bank reconciliation. Looking at information A, an extract from the bank reconciliation on 31 August 2021. Our current month is September, so this means this is the previous bank reconciliation statement. A reminder. Previous bank reconciliation statement, what do we do with it? We need to compare it with the bank statement of this month, current month, to see if those transactions that did not appear the previous month, does it now appear on our bank statement? If the answer is yes, we just tick it off. If the answer is no, it means we need to look at the additional information to see what do we need to do with that. So if I look at the first one, outstanding deposit, 15th August, the 15,900. If you look at the information, the outstanding deposit of 15,900 appeared on the statement, the September 21 bank statement. So if it does appear, it means we do nothing with it. We're just going to tick it off. The outstanding deposit of 23,000 on the 24th of August on the bank reconciliation statement was in respect of services rendered. It appeared on the bank statement for September, but was reflected as 18,000. An investigation revealed that the bookkeeper never deposited all the money. The bookkeeper resigned and cannot be found. It was decided to write off this amount. So what is happening here? It does appear, but it only appears as 18,000. So there's a missing amount of 5,000. So the business decided to write this off because they're not going to recover that money. It's missing. So this means we will need to write this amount off in our cash payment journal. So make a note of this and don't forget to complete it later on. The last one, the EFT 123, appeared on the bank statement for September 21. So if it appears, we do nothing with it, we're just going to tick it off. Now if you go to the bank recon, there's one more item left there. Unfavorable balance as per bank account. From the previous bank recon, the balance as per bank account is always used as the opening balance in your bank account in the general ledger. So circle that and remember you need to use it later on. Information B, the provisional totals from the cash journals on 30 September 2021. If you look at your answer book, can you see this is what I referred to earlier? It's asked in a different way. Just because it's asked in a different way, don't get flustered in an exam. Just apply the basics. It's just a different format. The cash receipts journal is 49,000. They've provided the total to you the same as the cash payment journal, 48,000. So all we do is we do nothing. We just use the information on the answer booklet given. If it was not given, you would have needed to take those totals as the opening balances. Remember Bank Recon, we need to update our books. Looking at information C, the following information on September 21 bank statement did not appear in the September 2021 cash journal. So if it doesn't appear in our books, but it reflects on the bank statement, it means we need to update our books. So they've provided you with an extract with a bank statement and additional information. Always check both to see what is it that you need to do. So we're now going to first look at all the money that was received, direct deposits that was made into our bank account. So the first one, we've got a deposit for rent, 8,300. So if you go to the additional information, W. Western made a direct deposit for his monthly rent. This means it needs to go to the cash receipts journal. So in this format, all I care about, what is the amount that we received and what is the contra account. We've received 8,300 for rent income. Then we have a direct deposit, 19,000. That direct deposit is for what? So always go to the additional information. And if you go to the additional information, you would see a deposit of 19,000 reflected on the bank statement is a bank error. They will rectify it on the next statement. This means we need to take it to the bank reconciliation statement. Then we've got an amount there, B. Benny, 2,750. Again, was this payment made to Benny or was it money received? So the additional information, a deposit from debtor, Benny, was a part payment of his account. This means that the business received money in the cash receipts journal, 2,750. For what reason? Debtors control. This person is a debtor. So the contra account, debtors control. Next, we've got a direct deposit from BB Investment, 20,450. The deposit was a fixed deposit that matured together with the interest received for 3 months at 9% per annum. You cannot say 20,450 for what? Fixed deposit? It wasn't only the fixed deposit. This was the fixed deposit plus interest that we've received for 3 months. God principle, materiality. I need to know what was the return on my investment. So we need to find out what was the fixed deposit amount and what was the interest. So looking at this calculation, this is quite difficult. The deposit was a fixed deposit of 20,450 that matured, together with the interest received for 3 months at 9% per annum. Per annum equals 12 months. So the investment plus the interest is 20,450. I need to find out what was the investment amount and what was the interest on the investment. So we say the investment is always equal to 100%. My interest is 9% per annum, which is 12 months, for 12 months. So if I want to find out the monthly interest, we are going to take 9 divided by 12, and that equals 0.75 per month. I want to find out what was the interest for 3 months, so I'm going to times that by 3, so over 3 months, that would have been 2.25%. So once I've done this, I know that the 20,450 is equal to 100 plus 2.25, which equals 102.25%. So now it's all about what is it that I want to calculate over what is the information given to me. So if I start with the investment, 20,450 times 100 over 102.25 equals 20,000. So the investment amount was 20,000. So the interest is going to be 20,450 minus the 20,000. Or you could have said 20,450 times 2.25 over 102.25, and that equals 450. So this is how I calculate what is the investment and what is the interest on investment. What makes this difficult is because they provided you with the total which included the interest. You cannot take 20,450 and times it by 9% times 3 over 12. Again, why? Because this is after the interest have been added. So in my cash receipts journal, 450 interest on fixed deposit and 20,000 fixed deposit, and always remember to write the name of the bank, BB Investments. Once I've taken all the transactions to the cash receipts journal, we can total, and that equals 80,500. So it means everything left over, everything there which I haven't highlighted yet, means it must be taken to the cash payment journal. The first transaction, we have the debit order. Debit order is an instruction to a third party that money must be deducted from my account. We paid our water and electricity 3,200. So in my CPJ, 3,200 water and electricity. Cash handling fees, EFT cost, service fees is all regarded as bank charges. So we have to add it together, and the total goes in my CPJ as bank charges. Then we have an EFT payment, BBB traders. If I go to the additional information, $5,900 was paid to a creditor and it was omitted in the journals. So we need to update our cash payment journal. $5,900 was paid to a creditor, so the contra account is creditors control. Then we have interest on a negative current account balance. Negative means this is money paid for borrowing money from the bank, which means interest on bank overdraft. So interest on bank overdraft, 232. Then we've got Boabab Insurers, 6,600. Go to the additional information before you just write it in the CPJ. It says there the debit order includes 1,500 for the owner's private vehicle. So if we look at GARP principle, business entity, the owner's personal finances must be kept separate from the business, which means 1,500 must be for drawings. The difference is the business expense insurance, 5,100. Now don't forget the last transaction. That 5,000 which is missing must now be shown in our cash payment journal. And there's a reason why they said to you, this was in respect of services rendered. It means that we will need to update our fee income. Services rendered is regarded as fee income or current income. That amount is now overstated. So we are going to say 5,000 services rendered is regarded as fee income. Once we've taken now all the transactions to the cash payment journal, we can total it. Completing the bank account, we're going to start with the opening balance. Unfavorable balance means negative. In our books, an unfavorable balance will always appear on the credit side. So the opening balance, 11,400, will appear on the credit side in our bank account. Make sure that you take your totals from the cash receipts journal, what you have calculated, 80,500 on the debit side, sundry accounts, or total receipts from the cash receipts journal, 80,500. Again, make sure you take your total that you've calculated in the cash payment journal. On the credit side, sundry accounts or total payments from the CPJ, 70,044. Once we've now taken the updated totals to the bank account, we can calculate our new bank account balance. The credit side minus the debit side means we now have an unfavorable balance of 944. Completing the bank reconciliation statement, we start with, always know your format, balance as per bank statement. They didn't provide you with the balance as per bank statement. It's not a mistake on the paper. It means that this becomes the balancing figure, which you will need to calculate. So now we're going to look for, was there any outstanding deposits? Yes, 17,400. On the credit side, I'm going to show outstanding deposit 17,400. Was there any outstanding EFTs? Yes, EFT 222 for 6,600 to XY stores for trading stock purchase. I don't care when completing the bank reconciliation statement for what reason. I only care it is outstanding on the debit side, 6,600. Now we need to correct that deposit of 19,000, which was incorrectly credited to our bank account, it means if it was incorrectly credited, we now need to debit our bank reconciliation statement because the bank will need to debit our bank account. So debit amount incorrectly credited 19,000. Now we need to show what was the balance as per bank account. Again, make sure you use your total that you have calculated, and you need to use it as it appears in your books, in your bank account. If it appears on the credit side, you're going to show it in the bank reconciliation statement, credit balance as per bank account 944. Once we are done with this, we can now total. So if I take the debit side and I minus the credit side, the balance as per bank statement is the balancing figure 7,256. Looking at our last question, an investigation revealed that the deposit of 5,000 was missing. Since the amount could not be recovered, it was decided that it should be written off. So identify the GAR principle which will be applied in this case. So the GAR principle that will be applied is prudence. We need to be conservative. We might recover that money, but we might not. So we are being conservative, and we're going to say, but we are going to write that amount off of 5,000. So question B says, provide two internal control measures that provide two internal control measures that Marianne can use to prevent such a loss in the future. So 1, division of duties, but elaborate on that. Don't just write division of duties or rotation of duties. One act as a check on the other. The person issuing receipts should not be the same person doing the deposits. Do regular supervision or monitoring cash deposits. Cash must be deposited daily. Check deposit slips against the receipts. Outstanding deposits must be investigated promptly. Encourage EFT payments by customers or debtors. Request that the bank send confirmation of all transactions through SMS. So then you can immediately see, but hey, you went to the bank today and you were supposed to deposit X amount, but an SMS shows that only so much was deposited. So you can act promptly, much quicker. So make sure that you study internal control procedures over cash, the handling of cash, when EFT payments are made, because you will be provided with different scenarios, and then you need to be able to apply your knowledge on internal control with regards to that specific scenario. Thank you very much. I hope you learned a lot during this session. I want to leave you with this quote: learning is never done without errors and defeat. We are going to do one more activity on bank reconciliation before we move on to creditors reconciliation. Hope you have a wonderful day.